This is the gathering of members of the Old School Drinking Podcast. You might ask why you're doing a new podcast considering the millions that exist. Our goal is simple: to encourage people to gather in neighborhood bars and talk. Talk not only to people who agree with you, talk to people who think you're an idiot. Understand that the only way we will survive as a society is if we can get beyond our various camps and identities. This is why we're here, to save an institution that historically brought us together. Also, we like to drink. Well, this is Old School Drinking 18. We're on the 18th right now. We're at Oasis on a Wednesday night, though, later at night than we're usually here.
Changing things up.
Why did we do this?
Multiple reasons. Multiple reasons. 60% was her.
Okay.
Actually, I use they, them pronouns.
Okay.
Thank you for telling me. It's their fault,
Okay.
That's right.
but 60% their fault.
Yeah.
Anyway, as usual, the co-hosts are John and Joe, and our guest today is Zhen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Zhen, and I use they, them pronouns. I'm a Rogers Park inhabitant.
Okay.
And now I know how to actually pronounce your name.
Zhen, yeah.
Cool.
Well, we are going to start then. What are we drinking tonight? And I'm surprised at one of the choices here.
It's obviously me
that
drinking
Bach.
the Shiner Bach
Yeah, it's
again.
the Shiner Bach.
He
Still,
drinks that all the
always.
time.
Yes.
It was you.
Oh,
that
it's
was
me?
the
Oh, what do you have?
surprise.
Tell me it's not
This is
Rumpelmann's.
house tequila neat and a soda on the side, a
Oh.
seltzer on the side.
As I said, a professional.
Yeah.
We could have, popped and gotten you some good tequila.
It's actually fine. All tequila is good tequila.
Okay.
Tequila,
Except
it's not,
for the bad tequila.
It's not a grain alcohol, so it's really good for you.
Well, I mean,
I've
everything's
been
good for
told
you
that before
in,
about things that are bad for you.
in the right quantities.
Okay, and as usual in our circumstance, we're going to start with hyper-local news.
Oop.
And
No, you're fine.
there,
Make all the
there-
noise you want.
There are a couple of things here. The first one is that there was an article in the various sites on the internet about the fact that Loyola is demolishing the former Archie's Cafe, and Zhen here was in a position she knew what was going on there.
I mean, I definitely want to give a shout out to Roman Susan Gallery. Roman
Mm-hmm.
Susan Gallery was in that space.
Right.
Right on the corner
Yep.
for a good amount of time, not super long. But
As somebody walked by many times, I would peek in the window and go, wow,
yeah,
cool.
right?
So,
yeah,
yeah.
and they did really fantastic open calls for Chicago artists and had sculpture in there, paintings, performances, experimental art. And it was a really great gallery. That was a great opportunity for Chicago artists in the space. Archie's Cafe, of course, also lovely, but big shout out to Roman Susan. They put up a really good fight to try to
stay.
try to stay, and to try to have folks in the neighborhood and in the administration of the neighborhood recognize that was a benefit to the community, and Archie's was a benefit to the community, and the building, the level of housing, the type of housing that was in that building was a benefit to the community. But it's over now. They did their last season, and
What you're saying just sort of brought something. Why didn't they offer the art gallery space in some of the areas that they've got open commercial space? Because they've only got about 50% of their commercial space rented in a lot of areas.
Yeah, you mean Loyola?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling I could message the gallerists if you guys want, and I could get back to you on that. But I have a feeling that their rent that they were paying was, when that was a kind of local landlord situation, and
Was less.
it wasn't a very big space. It didn't have a lot of amenities. It had nice windows.
Yeah.
But they.
It was an
they
older
really,
building.
It's an older building, right? And so I don't think maybe they are paying what. That's what I would assume, is that maybe they wouldn't be paying what the asking would be for a fancier commercial space in a modern building. I know with commercial real estate, a lot of times if it is not filled, it is a tax write-off because it helps you offset your taxes if it's not taken.
Well,
they're not paying taxes.
One of the
anyway,
questions we had is, does Loyola pay any taxes anyway?
They don't pay property taxes.
I would expect that they don't. And that's not right on commercial property, as far as I'm concerned.
They also took over basically the entire stretch around there.
Yes.
All those empty lots used to be similar buildings that Loyola took over, tore down, and just left as empty lots because they've got some master plan for that entire area. They just haven't built it to completion, and it's like a 30-year plan.
Yeah.
They've been systematically destroying my neighborhood since I moved here.
I mean, I do feel like that's very common for a lot of college campuses. You can look at Columbia University in New York. You were
it's
talking
something
about
that's
in California.
been accelerating over the last 20, 30 years.
Places like UCLA that was bound by
Right.
commercial and regular property all around it is the same sort of thing.
Right, and it's just been, it's economically beneficial for the college, and they can get more student housing and all those kind of things,
But they do it at the expense
interesting
of the
thing was
existing neighborhood.
Nick told me...
That's the game.
Just like a tumor.
I asked when they tore down the 1970s structure, not the one that had the ROTC people in it, it was brick. They've torn down two buildings on Sheridan itself. The first one they tore down was one that was not that old and in relatively good shape. And what I heard from Nick Patricia, is that they were putting something in as a support for the golf team or something crazy like that. So
Come on, golf. I hope it's the women's team and the men's team.
So there are all sorts of rumors going around as to what they're doing with everything, and I think there was so much of a blowback on what Nick was talking about. I'm not sure they're going to do that, but they sure are tearing down a lot of stuff right now, I guess is their question.
They've got money, and
Well, why?
the Trump administration didn't come after them, so.
How come they didn't take the Leonas?
Oh, it's too far north. It's outside. That's not on their task list until 2033.
Well, they are building housing there, though.
They are?
Yeah,
No,
they're
it's
not,
else.
but
It's not
a developer will.
Yeah.
Well, it'll turn into Loyola dorms in 2035.
There you go. Okay, second thing on the hyperlocal news, and I only got this because I was online renewing my driver's license. They're crazy enough to let a 77-year-old man of indeterminate health just do it online.
Yeah,
so
click.
So I went along with it, and actually in my case it worked. And we tried it with Rocky, and we actually had to go to a kiosk in one of the places to do it.
Okay.
Because every time I tried to punch something in, it said it wasn't what it wanted with her name of all things. So I was number one surprised that it let me do it without having to go to the kiosk. But number two, I found out that there's a Secretary of State driver's license reinstatement thing coming up.
Reinstatement?
Yes, for people that have trouble with not having a driver's license.
Okay.
At Malcolm X College this Saturday, 9 to 3.
Oh.
So
There's so many good things that happen at Malcolm X College. There's a lot of really good social programs and events that happen at Malcolm X College. It's a pretty good place to keep your eye on.
Well, the city college system as a whole is surprisingly useful for Chicago as a whole.
Yeah, I know. I feel like not enough people look to them as just like a resource, and that there are a lot of things going on. So, Joe, you're saying that folks that have lost their license?
yes, it's a reinstatement thing. For people that have either let it expire, or have had issues that they need to deal with, because I think there's going to be legal help there.
Oh, that's
too.
nice.
Oh, nice.
See?
Yeah.
That's such a great resource. That's a great tip. We add that to the.
Well, if we got
SEO
local,
notes.
we're hoping we get local people and that the technical staff will publish this before Saturday.
I'll do my best.
I'm just kidding you one
No, you're
way
not.
or another.
It's fine.
Okay.
I've had some trouble getting things done in a timely manner recently.
On local news,
Oh no,
primary in 6 weeks.
that's right.
This is an important thing.
Will we still have it?
Yes.
In 6 weeks, yes.
Okay.
The November election is another matter.
Oh, that'll happen.
Maybe.
It'll happen. There may only be one checkbox on the ballot, but there'll still be a ballot for El Presidente.
For El Supremo.
Oh yeah.
I like El Supremo because it was that old Horatio Hornblower movie of the crazy guy that they gave the ship to and then had to take it back. Who called
Speaking of that,
himself?
there's Cheetos here.
There are.
Yeah.
Do you want a Cheeto?
No, just
It's fine.
talking about our head Cheeto. And
Oh, okay.
sorry.
No
Oh,
problem.
if only some giant would come by and mistake him for an actual Cheeto and then eat him. Anyway.
The other thing
primary.
local, there are a couple of things local. I did not show this to Zhen.
Okay.
This was a column in the Sun Times. Or the
So it's a local
Sun.
newspaper, but it's a national story.
And what he basically is talking about is the TSA stripped away someone's quick check-in stuff
Yeah, global entry.
because they did not have a problem, participated in a demonstration.
But they
Right.
got picked up by the
Wasn't
facial
arrested.
recognition.
Wasn't arrested.
Just got picked up by the facial
anything like-
recognition and put into the database.
And the problem I see here, he starts it off talking about the Chinese system of how they penalize people for not being good people.
So your
Meaning-
credit score and your social score.
They have a social score, and if that goes down, they literally tell people if their social score gets too low, they can't even really get on a train or plane or anything like that. The depth of my knowledge about this is minuscule, except for the fact that I read an article about a mixed martial artist that was trying to prove to the people that were the kung fu people and other varieties of mixed martial arts that they really weren't what they were. So he kept beating up all these people that taught Tai Chi and karate of various kinds and everything else. And what happened was his social score went down to the point that he got to the stage that he had a really important match he was going to have, but he had to drive a car like 14 hours to get there because he couldn't travel on a plane or a train. And I think, John was talking a little bit about this before we started the tape, and this is a big concern.
I'm
Recording.
curious though about
metaphorically.
this. I'm curious about this because I know in articles in publications that report things, they don't necessarily give you all the details.
Yeah.
But it does say that the person went to a protest and 3 days later she received an email saying her global entry was revoked. But it doesn't say in the article what they cited the reason
Right.
why they revoked the global entry. So I'm just kind of wondering. I would be curious what they cited as the reason to revoke the global entry, and because I think
No,
Joe,
I
you were
understand.
telling me
I
about
understand.
this podcast and about how it's also about people being able to communicate across
Yep.
across differences of opinion on situations and stuff. And I do feel like some of the reporting doesn't give you like
An
all
idea
of the
of what
details,
actually is going on.
right? All
Sure.
of the details, it can kind of make things more salacious.
Should I
than
cut
they
her
are.
mic off right now?
No,
'Cause
no,
she's
no,
not
no, no,
agreeing
no,
with
no.
us? Okay, just
I
making
think
sure.
we're going to talk about that at the end.
Oh, great!
Good point.
Jeez,
though.
I'm
Very
looking
good point.
forward to the end. No, just kidding. just
Just so
kidding.
it'll be over.
I have my compass. Let me make sure we're going in the right direction.
Okay, the next thing on the local news is a concern of mine, and I think the ease of gambling now is going to be a real problem because, as with all the other stuff, the government seems to think that you can use as a method of generating a lot of taxes.
Revenue.
That it affects poor people much more than it does a wealthy person or anything like that. You are having a tendency, for example, now that cigarettes are $18 a pack, something like that. More than that? Okay.
$20, depending
Okay.
on where you're at. You go downtown, they're like
you
30.
You did skip one, Joe. You skipped to Bears, and
Well,
if they move to Indiana, then you can get your cigarettes for cheaper when you go to the games.
I skipped that
Exactly.
because
Ooh.
this was
Holy crap, I never thought of Illinois is going to lose so much.
This was-
Okay, yeah.
this
we
was
can't let the Bears
substituted.
go after all.
You
no.
can get your fireworks and your cigarettes, and then the poor folks that can afford Bear tickets.
Well, no, this is how Bears fans can afford to get their tickets.
Right.
Because they will buy and illegally transport
Right.
quantities of
Well,
contraband across
since
state
our
lines.
guest wants to talk
No,
about
I
the
want
Bears.
no, I want you to say more. But I want you to say more. I think, folks, I want you to open up the idea of how gambling affects people that have less socioeconomic agency than others.
Well,
right?
I think it does. You can see it in the 7-Elevens around here. Meaning the people that come in to buy scratchers, and I yield to the fact that every once in a while, I buy lotto tickets, but I keep that under control as far as I'm concerned. I spend less than $10 a week, theoretically. But it's something we can afford. I'm not in a position I believe I will ever win. It is more a fantasy than something I'm saying, this is my retirement plan, which I've heard some people say. And it just goes back to people that are poor don't have a lot of things that they look forward to. A lot of them smoke, so smoking now is outrageously expensive. A lot of them drink. Drinking is worse as far as how much we're spending for those sorts of things in this town. And it's sort of schizophrenic. On one hand, you'll have progressive politicians saying, we need to tax the billionaires. We need to get money from the people that aren't paying very much. Well, and I could argue about that and say that's a good way to make sure you don't have any billionaires in town. But worse than that, the biggest problems that they're doing generating tax money affect the poor. That's not going to affect a billionaire if you charge $20 for a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
But a poor person that, number one, is a little bit addicted or a lot addicted, or uses that just as a method of calming down and escaping the crappy life they have.
Nicotine
Maybe that's their
is
luggage.
first of all, nicotine is a proven mood stabilizer. It is one of the most effective mood stabilizers for people who are mentally unstable. The fact that it also kills you is just kind of a negative side
Well,
effect.
that's a positive thing from the government, though.
There's a reason why so many people get addicted to nicotine the way that they do.
Yeah.
And the fact that we keep jacking up the taxes on it is very much just a tax on the bottom.
It is, and so my whole point is we've got to get beyond this syntax crap.
I was just going to say the syntax.
Right, and you can put taxes on alcohol and cigarettes and whatever else you want, but don't go crazy. I mean, holy cats! I don't know. Have you had anything that you've ordered in from DoorDash lately?
I can't do that. I can't spend that amount of money. I can't justify. I have a good job. I will say I recognize I have a good job and I am very privileged, but I cannot in my mind justify spending that amount of money on the service fees.
Yes.
To do that. So
that's
I will
why
not.
I was bringing it up.
And I am I don't have any mobility disabilities. I am, I'm well ambulatory. So I would rather walk to a place to go get my thing than spend the amount of money. I appreciate that is a livelihood for people who do that as a job. And I appreciate that is a gig that people can get, right? That is maybe there's a lower barrier to entry for some folks to be able to get that gig, right? So I do appreciate that, but the amount of fees is like you end up paying the same amount as in fees as the food. And
it's exactly double now.
That's fiscally irresponsible.
And a lot of it's just going back to the company.
Right. It's not going to the driver. It's just fiscally irresponsible for me. I mean, just like last night I took a Lyft home I was out in Logan, and it's very hard to get back over here to the east side
that is
from
very
Logan.
True.
Unless you go all the way back and then come all the way out. And it was late at night, and I took a Lyft. And I was really kicking myself for doing it because I spent more on that Lyft than I had on my entire night out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it feels so fiscally irresponsible. So I think if you don't have the like really fear of the fiscal irresponsibility and the gambling becomes something that is like a hope and a dream and a maybe a way out and kind of your your like idealized like this might happen for me situation and
I can
an addiction.
Retire.
I was bringing it up specifically because it's gotten to the stage you're exactly right. It's more than double.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the restaurants themselves are charged back a fee, so they raise the price on the food by 20 or 30%. And then again, governmental stuff comes in that there's a ton of money put on that.
But I will say there used to be a way that restaurants controlled their own delivery.
Yes.
Pizza
but that
places
required
and
you actually
places,
using the phone to call in an order, and you couldn't just go.
Right, but I mean, it wasn't between like 2 or 3 corporate entities that controlled all of the delivery.
Well, and you paid a tip to the person that delivered.
Yeah.
And the prices were basically pretty close to the same.
Yeah, delivery was not upcharged to that.
No, I totally agree with
Yeah.
what happened to me that sours me all the time is we made an order, and when the final cost came through, I thought, that's what we spend on groceries for a week.
Yeah, right, yeah. And I will say, I think that really negatively affects people with disabilities.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there are a lot of people with disabilities who, are just trying to live here, and the way that things are getting priced really puts them at a disadvantage when they don't have the opportunity to go get the food.
Well, and
that
where
is kind of the only way for them to.
And where we live, we have a large group of people that are even older than I am, which is a problem, meaning they're really dependent on a lot of the grocery delivery places. But they tend to be less expensive, which is strange.
Yeah.
Instacart delivery from, for instance, Aldi or something like that, it's more expensive, but maybe $10, $12 more, something like that. And so if you're old and it's hard for you to get someplace like that, that makes sense, I think, for you.
But it's interesting. I don't know that any of those companies, and maybe they do, and I just don't know about it. But I could be ignorant of it. But I don't know that any of those companies have some kind of way that folks that aren't using it as a luxury can kind of avoid those fees, right? If you have a disability and it's more, you need that service.
Okay.
That would be interesting. It would be interesting if the government said, if you get with us and show that you have a disability, we're going to basically waive all this stuff.
Because you
need
this service, and
that
so
would be good.
That way, people who are using it as a luxury service, as a convenience, and are
they pay the convenience fee.
Yeah.
Right. But people who need that as a service in order to survive aren't having to pay that level of convenience fee, because the convenience fee keeps going up.
And when are you going to run for anything now?
I already work in the government, Joe.
I know. I know. But you could run.
I am not a very good runner. I'm a better swimmer.
Anyway.
Swim for office.
Just as a little joyous thing, we've been talking about this in the bar generally.
Oh, yeah?
Which is the crew that has decided the easiest thing to do is steal ATMs.
The whole ATM?
The whole
Oh,
ATM.
yeah. Drive a car through the front window, grab the ATM, throw it in the trunk, and drive off.
Bruno's just had that done.
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's why their window is boarded up. I just saw that.
Yeah. So.
Do they wear a lot of
I did not see the
disguise?
video. I don't know.
I'm not sure that Bruno's has videos.
They do.
Well,
They
no,
do?
but everywhere
do.
has video. There's almost nowhere that you can go where you're not actually on camera.
Also, it's in front of Loyola. Loyola's got video
yeah,
of all of it.
there's cameras.
I'm assuming
everywhere,
that
Joe.
they. There's
There's one right here.
and there's one over there.
No.
There's one over
Over
there.
there.
And there's one over
There's one
there.
over
There's
there.
one over there. There's there.
I feel so insecure.
I can teach you some some makeup techniques to disguise your identity.
I think with a person that's 6'7", that's more difficult than
No, they'll just think
doing
you're a
your face.
basketball player.
Ooh.
You're one of the Loyola athletes.
I tend to tell people I was more of a jockey when I was growing up.
Oh.
That's a Bill Russell joke. When Bill Russell was asked by people, "Oh, you're tall. What are you?" He would tell them he was a jockey. So, well, he could run. You know, he could run with the horse.
Right.
So yeah.
ATM theft, so that's the thing, huh?
Well, I think it makes more sense than a lot of other things. I think on the lower end, robbing 7-Elevens just doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
I always believe there was an old Jimmy Cagney movie, talking about old, that he was a union person, and one of the songs, because every Jimmy Cagney movie has music, was never steal anything small.
Okay.
Meaning he learned, and this was during the 40s, that people that do stupid, cheap things tend to get punished worse than people
Oh,
that
yeah.
do big things.
No, you
For
steal a
instance,
candy
white
bar,
collar.
you can do 10 years. You steal $1 million, you maybe do 4 months, and you get out in 3 weeks.
So it's,
Well,
it's go
because-
big or go home.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting.
Okay,
That's why
any-
when I get arrested, it's going to be for treason.
please
big.
don't say that. Please cut that out.
They already know. They
Anyway.
just don't know
I
what.
do want to add. I want to add something about gambling.
Okay.
You know, we're talking about folks that are maybe in lower socioeconomic brackets, right? And like gambling. I think what we're talking about is like casinos, right? Or lotteries
It's
or things
the
like that.
entire
entire system.
For me, I've got a personal beef against the little video poker
Oh, yeah, the
machines,
slot
which are
Well, and
now
then
showing up everywhere.
And the sports betting
And
too.
that happens a lot in the suburbs
phone-based
too.
sports betting, the app-based
Right,
sports
right.
betting, which is international
So
now.
here's the thing. All of that is true, and there has been a lot more ads I've noticed for the
Oh, yeah.
sports betting systems. They're showing up a lot more places. But I will say, P.S. and as a note, like I am concerned that a lot of us invest our entire futures or the majority of our futures in the stock market, which is also just gambling.
But it's,
Like, sorry, friends. It's totally gambling.
I've always looked at it like you're a surfer riding a wave. You have no effect on what's going on. You're just trying to hang on.
I will go with that as long as you add the caveat that you're a surfer riding a wave with headphones and a blindfold on.
Okay, that sounds
So all you can
reasonable.
do is
And the sharks know
Feel.
that you're riding the wave, and the sharks have talked to each other about what's going to happen next, but you don't know what's going to happen next, and they
Yeah.
get prepared for
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
going to happen, and then they're like, okay, let's go, and they do their thing, and then you get knocked off the board.
and then they eat you and,
And
the board.
hopefully you don't need to retire like within the next 2 years.
Well, that's the problem with the market in general. If everybody talks in terms of the market when you're 30, but once you reach 50, 55, you don't have time to recover from a bad thing.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It is
Yeah.
also gambling. It is
Yeah.
also gambling. We are hedging our bets on our entire that's the system that we're told to rely upon basically for retirement.
Which is idiotic if you ask me, but
Well, no, it's not
All I can
idiotic
say-
from people that work at Wall Street.
all I can say, well, yeah, and the people who are just leeching money out of the system.
So
Uh-oh.
gambling hits all socioeconomic levels.
We had the Great Depression before. Our commander-in-chief will be able to say, "This is the greatest depression."
It's true. It's true.
I mean, I've recently, it's kind of wild, but I've recently been speaking to people who are in their 60s, late 60s, 70s, early 70s, and some of them
young pups.
Yeah, totally, totally. Some of them are very much like, I'm glad I was born when I was born because I am at the age where I'm not going to have to.
I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, like a lot of the fallout is not going to be on me, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna check out within the next 15 to 20 years.
Whereas
Maybe.
I'm going to have
I
my
mean, we
first
don't
hip
know.
replacement scheduled right in the middle of the time when there's going to be no health care.
I think we
true.
got off agenda.
That's okay.
But
that's
I
the
just
whole
wanted
point.
to bring up the gambling thing because it's occurred to me since I was very young and people told me to invest in the stock market, and I just kept watching the returns, and the average return I think is like 6 to 8%, and there have been periods of time where
It's been negative.
it's been negative, but there has also been periods of time where high yield savings accounts or CDs have been at like 8%. It's not super, it hasn't been very much time, but it has happened. At one point my grandmother found a savings account that was at 11%.
Ooh, wow.
That was probably during the Carter administration.
And that allowed my grandparents to be able to cash finance their like retirement
Yeah.
home.
Oh, wow.
Because
Nice.
that was the savings account,
Yeah.
And so I just think that, when you have certain levels of like fiscal fear, risk averseness, the general stock market in which we are kind of given as the option for where we should put our faith for our retirement
Right.
is really touchy and sketchy and doesn't feel very safe.
What's interesting about what you just said is it's exactly the issue that we have right now. Most of our money, all of our money, is out of the stock market. So we're dependent on interest rates to make sure we get a return of some sort. And the problem is you have a president who doesn't understand that what he's doing in a lot of cases is forcing older people into the market just to try and get some returns, rather than having something that's stable and you can just count on it, and you don't have to worry every night about what's going to go on the next day.
Yeah, and that's hard for elderly folks, and it's also hard for folks who are older. It's hard for their younger family members then, because then that responsibility can get shunted down the generations. Not that we shouldn't, I don't want to sound like I'm saying that we shouldn't work in intergenerational, collaboration, right? Like I do believe that we're not so autonomous that, a nuclear family shouldn't have anything to do with their elders, as they go on. But just having to then worry about the fact that your elder family member can't get the health care that they need or doesn't have a living situation that they can afford. And we don't all live in big communal homes anymore where it's intergenerational families. And I don't see the problem with that. I think that's actually great, and a lot of cultures still do that. But
well, even that's not something that's weird now. Even in California, where they're building new houses, they actually are building huge houses for multi-generation.
Yeah, for intergenerational housing.
Right.
Yeah, and that's
So-
the way it's. I mean, that's how many
the
thousands
way
of
how it
years
was
and
done.
millennia
Yeah.
was that done, and that helped with childcare, and that helped with the chores and the kind of daily living, detritus that you have to take care of as an adult. But I wanted
That is the first time we've ever used detritus on here as a word. So thank you.
That is definitely the first
That's
time
going to up
somebody's...
us. That's going to up
used-
us for people that are listening to this. That those idiots said something other than
Yeah,
stupid.
I don't think we have a Scrabble old school drinking game yet, but we will next week.
Great, thanks. But I did kind of bring this all up to circle back to the idea that we were talking about gambling, but also ATM thefts. I find it
Well, that's
so
going to
wild.
be my
That's your retirement plan?
retirement plan.
Oh,
Is
that's great.
Actually, theft of the poker machines.
This dude.
Poker
I
machines
was
don't have any
gonna-
money in them, do they?
Do they?
No,
I
you
don't
have to
think they
put your
do.
money in.
I thought the business paid you off.
That's what I'm going to steal.
Oh. But I'm just shocked that there are even ATMs around, because the push has become so credit card based. Because that's also how we can be tracked, and our data can be, used for further marketing.
Well, they can still do it because all the little ATMs in corner stores and bars like this one, like the one right over there, they also track, what time of day you pulled the money out.
Yeah, but once you
where
have that
it was,
cash,
how much it was, and they can track based on your cell phone where you were. Oh, hey, he actually spent all the $80.
That's part of the
out.
reason we used cash for a lot of
so
things.
much.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the push has been against using cash because it's not trackable and traceable, and
immediately.
Right. So,
well, and it works. Actually, what I found that's interesting is the banks know you so well now that when a purchase comes up on one of your cards, they send you a warning immediately because they know this is outside your character. And
you just donated $50 to the opposite of what you donated $50 to last week. Are you sure?
But on the other hand, when I go to the liquor store to buy alcohol, I don't
no
even have
problem.
to punch. I don't even have to punch. I use my card, but I never have to punch the code in anymore because you're there. Okay.
Yeah, you're already in. You're fine. You don't even have to swipe anymore. It's fine.
There you go. Okay. In national news, and
Cheers.
here's
technically all of this has been national.
Well, no,
but now we can move on.
Yeah.
The
So
ATM thefts was more of a local thing.
well, I thought gambling was more local
and
too.
Loyola.
Well, it's a national
And Loyola.
issue.
it is
for sure.
But it's coming to Chicago a lot more. I mean, the casino has only been here for 4
But they're
years.
not making any money on it at all.
Well, they're making money. They're just not making as much money as they'd hoped.
So
But
there's a juxtaposition that's taken place that's really interesting, and that's the next thing I'm
okay,
bringing
let's
up.
jump in.
And that is protesters in Iran versus Minnesota. From the standpoint of our fearless leader, the orange one, he actually basically said a number of times that if Iran shoots anybody, there will be hell to pay.
If you kill somebody, we're going to kill more people.
Yeah, and then slaughtered people in Minnesota and acted like this was perfectly normal.
Well, yeah, but they're not his people, so
What exactly are his people?
anybody who kisses his ass. But no, that's that South
I
Park
think it's
episode again,
basically
never mind.
this is more frightening.
My
It's the
question
last
is
person
why-
who talked to him. It's not necessarily.
Who's talking to him that really, really, really wants us to bomb Iran?
Benjamin Netanyahu,
Is that it?
his buddy. Well, but he's got a problem there because his other buddy, meaning
Putin?
Putin, is an ally of Iran. So he's sort of playing it cool here, I
But
think is what goes on.
did Putin agree to go join the
billion-dollar
the
club?
billion-dollar peace panel
Yeah.
club?
I don't think he was that foolish. Almost all the people that
I like the
joined
fact that he was invited. It's just like,
I really wonder,
hypocrisy is amazing.
we were recently in Minnesota, and
Mm-hmm.
I am like so impressed with the people of Minnesota
Okay.
for the way that they've been kind of standing up for each other and the work that they've been doing, and it really it does look like it's hard. I think it's hard to organize, and the civil rights folks, black folks, know what's up and they know how to organize, and they led a massive, they did so much work previous to where we are now, to get us to the point that we are now. And I see people,
Even if we're
But
backsliding.
they were attached to their churches, so that's basically what helped them. The thing I see that is a problem right now is every day I go online trying to figure out when the next protest here is going to be, and it's very difficult.
well, so that's
exactly
what I'm
you're
saying.
talking
So
about.
like the organizing, I think the organizing is hard. Like people want to do the right thing, right? They want to do the right thing, and they want to stand up for their neighbors, and they want to stand against this like domestic terrorism. They're getting called domestic terrorists,
Right.
but this is the domestic terrorism that's happening in their neighborhoods, and they want to stand against that. But when you are like alone, right? What we've seen is you are alone, or you're with one other person, or the agents. I imagine it's also very stressful for them. That's not excusing them at all.
Oh,
but
no,
it's
gotta
highly
suck.
situations.
Oh, yeah.
There's people blowing whistles. There's like lots of yelling and noise. There's lots of cameras in their face.
Absolutely.
All of those things are high anxiety situations, and they're not super well trained.
Not for this,
they
no.
have a lot of equipment that is at their disposal to use in ways that maybe they're not, that like.
But
Yeah.
the frightening
They're not
thing.
trained like our military.
No. The
military is.
frightening thing is the two people that shot the gentleman had in excess of 10 years experience.
Sure.
Oh,
So
sure,
they
but
were-
not
they were
doing
in-
not doing that.
Right, not that kind of stuff. That's
They had
not
10 years of
they've been-
on-the-job experience, but they were not.
They've been shooting people down at the border.
Oh, well, yeah. No, so they've got 10 years of experience of shooting people. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, so
Again.
it's just like a question about. We were talking about this. Some of my colleagues and I were talking about this recently, just about social contracts and about like the social contract that we have with each other to respect each other. And that is, Joe, when you asked me to come on this podcast, it's also something you talked about. You talked about the podcast being a space where people would be able to have discussions with each other, even if they came from kind of different
Yes.
opinions, right?
Yeah.
Or kind of different sides of the aisle, as
Yeah.
they say, right? And that it's important to be able to have conversations, but I think it escalates so quickly, and people are so afraid. And this is something that I've been seeing in all of the cop shootings, that we've seen because of social media that we actually have video of.
Yeah.
Is that like it feels like the people with the guns are afraid, or like they're ready to jump to this
Well,
violence.
they're ready to escalate
Yeah, they just
See,
go
so
right
much
to
faster.
This
Yeah.
this is a point of contention for me, just from the standpoint of the courts have set the bar at this. If you're scared, you're within your rights to shoot
Yeah,
somebody.
right.
The problem
But like
is,
we're all scared.
well,
like-
where I'm going with this is a very frightening job, and if you're going to get
Yes.
into it,
Yes.
if you scare easily, you're probably not a really good person to be in it. And I in various times of my life seeing cops, in a lot of cases they attract the wrong people too, and are not in a position that they do a real good job of getting rid of people once they've gotten into the livelihood. So if you were to go to every police station in the world and say, are there guys around here that shouldn't be cops? Most of the people would start shaking their heads.
Well, sure. I mean,
And
there's
then-
also doctors that shouldn't be doctors.
But then, what happens is the same thing in that circumstance, which is, well, why haven't you done something? Well, he's our brother. We're not going to do that.
Right.
It's the same thing with doctors. They
Right.
And
they
then
won't
you get,
testify.
oh,
against
it's just a
one another.
couple of bad apples.
Well,
and
and
I'm
you-
like,
you think
okay,
about
but
it.
remember the rest of that saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. What is the rest of the saying? One bad apple
Ruins the
ruins the whole
bushel.
bushel. But I think that it's
Time.
okay. Where
We're
are you
going to get
going?
alcohol.
We're gonna take a break, folks,
that's-
because
that's
these
great.
folks.
I just want to finish that thought.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
finish that.
The thought is just that like there are people, there are always in any job, right?
Yeah.
In any field, in any job, there are people who are very good at their job. There are people who are good enough at their job, and there are people who are not very good at that job. And just talking about doctors.
I'm sensing a bell curve here.
Talking about doctors, right? And it's like upsetting to see. I don't know. It's a wacky time. It's a wacky time that we decided to incarnate in.
Well, we had no decision on that,
No,
unfortunately.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think that we came here at this time.
Why?
You came here
As
to see
punish-
this, Joe.
This is
I mean,
this
I
is very
came here
this is very
of my own
Hindu-like.
volition
Yes.
right today.
There you
You
go.
know that this is very Hindu-like.
I
then,
don't
if you
think
believe that.
I don't think I chose this time period
I think you chose this
or
timeline.
this genetic structure.
I think you did.
I don't think
I
so.
think you incarnated at this point to see this.
I
and
mean-
to play some role in it.
I have a joke that I like to tell. It's like,
Ultra Scheinbacher, and then she's drinking the
Tequila
tequila neat. That's what she has. Yeah. You want some more water?
Yeah, thank you.
When he comes back. They get prissy if I go do anything.
So my joke is, there I was, disembodied spirit, waiting to be, have my soul sent down, stuck in a newborn baby. And I was like, I want a challenge this time. Give me something difficult, but not impossible. So how about you make me poor, but still put me in like a white guy's body in the 20th late 20th century. Like, it's going to be a challenge, but not
like a really big
impossible. Like I'm not starting off in third
Is this
base.
a joke?
Yeah,
Is this the joke?
that's the joke.
Oh, that's the joke.
Yeah. I didn't say it was a funny joke.
Oh,
He's well, I mean, I can't complain about how I grew up.
Joe, I don't
so
have cash.
I got it.
Are you sure? Yeah. All right.
And if he doesn't, I do. So we're good.
Thanks. Oh,
Thank
One
you,
of
my
the one of the
that is
joys
a
of
good
being
pour.
Can she get a
the
water, please?
welcome to the Oasis.
No, this was
Oh,
seltzer.
okay.
Is it okay if it's
No,
seltzer?
it's just being a jerk.
Oh, okay.
You know, I do have some kind of I have guilt over all of these plastic vessels
You
that
should.
are disposable. These
You should.
one single-use plastic vessels.
We've been hounding the owner to go back to glass.
I have much guilt about single-use plastic vessels, and I'm accumulating quite a selection of them.
Well, then you have to deal with it.
What am I going to do with it, Joe? Leave them at your house?
A mea culpa will be necessary on your part.
Where do I publish that? This is like an interlude that you're cutting out, right?
Thank you, Joe.
Maybe.
Come on, bro. It's really funny because my boss and I have gotten into the habit of calling each other bro.
Okay.
I like it.
That's funny because two of my other they/thems keep referring to,
I think we're
bro
going to
as
skip the
a
next two.
punctuation.
I used to use dude.
Yeah.
I
Dude's
used to be
okay.
like, dude is fine. Also,
Dude's
Big
fine.
Lebowski. Like,
Yes.
the dude. All right, are we coming back, Joe? Are you ready for
yeah,
to
I think
slate?
so. But what
to
we're gonna
slate?
do-
Return.
What we're going to do is
Actually, that's a good idea. I need to make one of those. Okay.
we're gonna
I'm in the industry.
okay.
Okay.
skip the next two.
We're gonna skip the next two.
What is war? What is war is a good one.
Well, do you want to? If you want to, we can do it.
What is war is a good one.
Is this like a remix of War? What is it good for? Except
Ugh. What is it good for?
President versus Congress.
What it was going to be talking about is the fact that the Congress has advocated their
Amongst
responsibility. Meaning
many
they're
others.
the only ones that can declare war, but they've allowed the president to basically
Well,
say,
we also haven't actually declared war on another nation
But
since
we've
World War
bombed.
II.
But we've bombed people.
Oh, we've bombed the shit out of people. We've invaded other countries, but it wasn't a war. The only wars we've declared have been on ideas, and we've lost all of those.
and ourselves.
But also historically, what has war been about?
Well, at what time?
Oh wait, I didn't hear what that comment
Hey,
was.
what'd you say? Power and greed.
Power and greed. It's an economic like play, right? Like
Well, and more and more there's a difference between now and the modern world and say from World War I back, because from World War I back, it was always in Europe a dispute between family members.
What about outside of Europe?
Well, yeah, you just kill people for nothing. No, and in a lot of cases outside of that, the dispute between family members or whatever.
But also a land grab, right? There was lots of land
Resources.
grabs, lots of resource grabs.
Well,
It's an economic driver. I'm going to take your resources because I can create.
Well,
I've
most
got
of
better
those,
bows and arrows.
but
I've
most
got
of
more
those
horses.
are really not considered war. For example, we would not consider the fact that after we took the possessions from Spain after the Spanish-American War, that we had
War.
to
You
put
just
down.
said war, by the way.
That was a war because we actually did
Declare war.
Yeah.
But there was a kerfuffle that happened after that when we put down the fight that took place
All right.
in the Philippines.
So we're already knee deep in this. It's going to be really interesting to see where I cut this. But this is an interesting point. now that the America First people have put America last in social standing, and America's social credit has dropped so low,
Not to mention the dollar.
when is the next global conflict going to pop up, since we are no longer running the global hegemony?
Well, what I think is going to happen is the next dump on Epstein stuff is going to cause the next war.
But they've been
But
releasing
who are we
things.
going to invade? Canada?
Anyone.
But they've been releasing things weekly, and a lot of it is about misogyny and harm against women, and our country has traditionally allowed that.
Allowed, encouraged,
Yeah, like that's
profited off
The-
it
of.
has not. I mean, people
There-
have fought against it, but and there have been gains.
The
But
equal
as
rights
we
bill
see-
still hasn't been ratified.
Right, but as we see with any of the gains, they have not taken us all the way there, and it is undercurrent. The undercurrent is always that it is also going to be acceptable or passable to harm, women.
Everybody else
Well,
that's not a white man.
you know,
yeah,
well, how do we get
sure, the global majority.
how do we get from global conflict to war on
Global
women?
majority. I mean, no, because we were talking
Because
about
it's
the
all
Epstein
partly
files.
that,
Because we
yes.
were talking about the Epstein files.
No, what I'm saying is that the thing that scares you is that Trump
Excuse
uses.
me. Excuse me.
Yeah, it scares me. Is that Trump uses one of the reasons we're in chaos right now is Trump is doing everything he can to do enough stuff that no one will pay attention to Epstein.
What
And-
scares me is that
And
people are
considering
letting it happen.
And considering the latest dump theoretically had stuff in it about Trump being involved, Trump being involved in 13-year-old sex. What did you do that for? You can't- Oh, do you get returns for that? or-
Ronald McDonald House.
Ah, okay.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh,
Give her the next one.
No. You'll hurt yourself. You'll make a cut. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
Just this was so fascinating to you that.
also, I'm mildly insulted that you just assumed that I was going to rip the entire can
Well,
off,
no, I
but
thought-
it's okay.
I thought he was being a gentleman
It's
because I
okay.
thought what you wanted
am
was
a gentleman.
I thought he was being a gentleman. In
I am a
that,
gentleman.
Wait a minute. That
We're being
he was letting
gentle.
you take a drink of it.
Oh no, I can't.
I was just like,
drink that.
why do you
That
want
has-
my shitty beer?
That
See,
has
that's it.
gluten. I can't have.
Actually, it doesn't.
that. No, yes, it does.
That is-
What are you talking about?
It's a bock.
It's a beer-based
It's a
thing.
bock.
What's a bock? Is it like
It's
Tin
malt. There's no wheat. There's no grain. It's a malt beer. It's not.
malt? So you're telling me that malt liquor is gluten-free?
Yeah. It's basically just sugar.
Oh, wait
my
a minute.
phone to look this up.
Here you go.
Joe, confirm or disconfirm?
Well, he's
What's
got that.
disconfirm? You don't say disconfirm. What do you say?
I think we should start.
Yeah, disconfirm.
We've been,
Prove wrong. Prove the negative.
I know Joe's password now.
that's okay.
Joe, you're looking up the NFL. We're having a
Oh,
pause.
sorry. Never
You're
mind.
wrong.
I was wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Malt is got gluten. Okay.
I thought it was
Malted
the
barley,
drag.
which
The
is high in
gluten-free
gluten.
person doesn't
No.
know.
What I thought Bach beer was the dregs in various containers that when they harvested the good stuff remained in the bottom.
What phone is this?
It's Joe's phone.
Be nice.
This is great. No, this is great. I love this. I lost it though, but clearly we found out that is not true.
Okay,
Do not
no.
believe the hype.
I
guests.
was wrong.
Malt
I
liquor is still have
apologize.
gluten. Do
I
not
apologize. Does have gluten.
Okay.
Which is also why I drink tequila.
It's made out of a different plant.
It's not inflammatory in the same way. I mean, alcohol is not great for you.
I just
Well, this is why I'm so fucking inflammatory as a person. Then, god damn it.
I just
Now I
use the
know.
various marijuana derivatives, so it's
It's
anti-inflammatory.
legal.
I'm going back to drinking Malort.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
God.
Lord. All right, we did it. We did it. We did
Okay.
it. Cut.
Anyway.
Cut. Trim.
Oh no.
No, that'll remain.
This kind of stuff stays in for sure.
Anyway,
No one wants
Also, the battleship is dumb. Let's move on.
The battleship. I like Joe's take on the battleships because it talks about ice cream machines.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. See, now you're intrigued.
You didn't say nothing about ice cream machines that we were talking about before. Are they pro ice cream machines, or are we going to have less ice cream machines because all the metal's going into the battleship?
We're late getting into the regular stuff.
Bar stories. Are we at bar stories?
Oh yeah, you were required
well, do you have a bar story, or do I have to regurgitate one? I don't even know what
a bar story is. What is
a story that
happened at a bar
in a bar
that was funny?
All right, so there I was, sitting in this bar a number of years ago. Over there, actually. Minding my business. I was reading a book, drinking a beer. It was a random, Wednesday night, actually, I think. And this bunch of people come bursting through the front door. Also, it's like June. Beautiful weather. It's this young woman I know. And it's like, she's the girlfriend of a guy that I, work next door to, and I hang out with him all the time. I'm like, what's she doing here? And then these three guys come in behind her, and I'm like,
this is intriguing.
This is, and none of them are the boyfriend, and they're all being very drunk and very familiar. And it's like, okay, this is interesting. And she sees me and goes, "Oh, John!" And I'm like, "Hey," I'm not going to use her name. She's like very short. She's like 5'11" or 4'11". She's a very tiny little person.
5'11".
4'11". 4'11". Sorry. She's just shy of 5 foot.
It's still pretty short.
And the three guys that come in behind her are all, my height to like 6'3". And this is probably 1998, 99, give or take.
The last century.
Yeah, it's an old bar story. So they all come in and they start, kind of grumbling amongst themselves while I'm talking to the young woman, and we finally get the attention of the bartender, and all three guys go in order, and I realize, oh wait, these people are all British.
Ah.
And it takes me a minute, and I'd been drinking a bit, so I was like, oh, okay, wait, that guy's English. Oh, wait, that guy's Irish. Oh, no, come on. Oh, yep, the third guy's Scottish. So the Englishman, Irishman, the Scotsman walk into a bar, following a little Pakistani woman. Perfect setup for a joke, right? Sounds like a joke. No, it actually happened. So there we are. I was like, oh, screw this. I'll buy the first round. So I get them a round of drinks, and they get me a drink, and I buy them a drink, and they get me 5 drinks. Next thing you know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and like the bartenders are starting to say, hey, last call's coming soon. Sun's going to be coming up. And somehow or another, like, they were all three living in a studio apartment because they were here on a work transfer visa thing. So they come to the U.S. and work for a year, and then they go back to the U.K. And they met her just out and about because she got into a fight with her boyfriend, and they were all like vying for who's going to get to go home with her or who's going to take her home or whatever, but they all live in the same room. So we stop off at my place, which is kind of on the way, so I can loan them a boombox so they can have music at a party, and it just keeps getting weirder and weirder. And then, like, all of a sudden, everything's fine. The Scotsman is talking to her, and the Englishman and Irishman and I are talking. And I forgot to mention, like, because we're all sitting around drinking, I have a problem when I drink. I tend to just adopt whoever I'm talking to's accent. All three of them thought I was where they're from.
Oh.
And it was very confusing once we were all on the way out. And they're like, wait, you're not English? I'm like, no, I'm not English. You're not Scottish? No, I'm not Scottish. And I'm just like, I didn't mean to be an asshole. I didn't mean to, fool these guys and make them think I was something I wasn't. I couldn't help it. Anyway, long story short is they ended up pissing her off. They ended up with my boombox. I never saw the boombox again. And I had to walk her all the way home.
Wow.
So everyone ended up disappointed.
But yet, the moral of the story is, when you are in a bar, everyone can be people with people. They thought you were their people. You can become.
I think
You
that's
can
not
become
the.
community.
I
You
don't.
become community with
I
people
don't
you
think
don't
that's
know.
the lesson I learned from it.
You
but I
gave
wish
away a
that I
boombox.
had. I wish that I had learned
Well-
that lesson from it.
This reminds me of a story that involves
okay.
alcohol. Not in a bar.
But
In Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
In
not
Saudi
a lot of
Arabia-
bars in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, in Saudi Arabia,
but there was alcohol?
there are people
there's
in Saudi
alcohol
Arabia.
everywhere.
There are people in Saudi Arabia, right? There's alcohol.
I haven't been myself.
There are all sorts of things that are
Anyway,
there,
story.
but mostly controlled by the royal family. But that's another whole matter. Anyway, you can get Siddiqui all the time, which is Arabic for old friend, and it's basically a distilled sugar water that
Okay.
you buy for like $40 a liter. And that's what most people drink. But you can get alcohol from the embassy, meaning the Marines, for example, and the U.S. Embassy are given 2 cases of beer and a gallon of spirit a month.
Oh,
So
For how many guys?
So what they do is
That's
they
not
drink
enough.
the beer and they sell the alcohol, the distilled alcohol, and they sell it no matter what you get. This was in 1989 for $140 a bottle.
U.S.?
Oh wow, that's a lot of money back then.
Yeah, and so Rocky was
No, thank you. Fiscally
Rocky,
conservative.
Rocky was coming in, and I thought, well, crud, I'll be nice and get something nice for her to be able to drink when she
wow.
wants to. So I went through the procedure, and I paid like the $140, and I got a bottle of gin. Because you can't choose what you want either.
It's just
You just
whatever.
get what you get.
get what
Alcohol
you get.
roulette.
You get what you get. I hate gin, but that's okay.
In the summer, it's so nice.
And then
Gin is fine.
So what
Gin
happened
is
is,
not.
what happened was for a few days, maybe a week or two, Rocky sipped on it a little bit, and there was probably 3/4 of the bottle left. And I made the mistake of allowing a couple of the Brits that I work with, and ask them to come to dinner. And
There goes
Rocky
your
was
gin.
good- well, yeah. Rocky basically fixing food, and I was off doing something, and I said, well, here, have some of that.
Have a drink, yeah.
I come back maybe 10 minutes later, and it is stinking gone,
Oh,
all of it. And I just thought that was like the height of what the hell are you doing? I mean, they knew.
hospitality, Joe. You were doing hospitality.
I was doing idiot is what I was doing. I should have given them the
How old were
Siddiqui.
you?
I was at that time. Oh God, let me figure it out. I was in my mid 50s.
Oh, that's
I'm
relatively
77.
recent.
Yeah, I'm 77 now.
That's relatively recent,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I thought you were going to say your 30s. How long have you and Rocky been together?
56 years. Not that I'm counting.
Congratulations.
I'm not sure.
You think that's wrong?
No, I'm kidding.
And you?
I was trying to calculate how old he would have been in '89, but it's hard to do math.
It's math is.
No,
Math is
it's
hard.
pretty easy actually, because it would have been. Oh, I was younger than that.
I was going to
actually.
say you're like either late 40s or early 50s.
Yeah, it was late 40s. It was late 40s.
You're like close to my age now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
How old are you?
I am 50
Oh, cool.
for like
A youngster.
another month and a half.
Congratulations.
And then I'm going to be 51, which is
Right. That's
what I
normally
like to
what
refer
comes
to as
after
a
us 50.
subprime number.
Anyway, let us talk about something that I thought we were
Gonna
going to take most of our time talking about here, which is I'm more and more concerned. I was concerned initially when corporations started buying news media. I'm really concerned now that it's become a proclivity of the billionaire class. Because I think what we've seen is catastrophes across the board as far as what they've done to various news gathering groups, especially now with what the Barry Weiss thing at CBS that's going on. And it goes back to the question now, how can anyone tell what's real in the news? What really is taking place? Because there is so much that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Really. And how do we deal with this? There are options, I think, as far as things you can go to make judgments. But they tend to be also things where you have to pay also, like ground news and things like that actually do analysis and tell you, okay, this story's been put forth by conservative media, this by basically neutral media, and this by the left, basically, that are trying to do things like that. And we've actually talked a little bit about this. John is putting something together in his brain.
I have ideas
about
I'm not sharing them here
watermarking things as being this is something that has.
Don't give away my idea.
I think it was originally my idea, but that's beside the point. And you shut me out. What can I say?
Now is not the time or place to have this argument, sir.
I think it also is complicated by. I think it's also complicated by AI.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the addition of that into the landscape. I think a lot of people, this is my opinion that I'm adding to this moment.
That's what you're here for.
Yeah, thank you. Is that a lot of people get their information from social media, not from news platforms anymore. The fact that you have a printed out copy of the Sun-Times or whatever kind of blew my mind. Like, who does that?
Oh, it's not a
Where did
printed
you
out.
get
It's
that?
a printed.
Yeah, like that's like an actual.
You got
like
it from the
that's
store,
an actual like
and
publication.
then opened it up and read it because
Like,
it still exists.
Where did you get that? Why did you buy that?
I will
Like,
explain.
that's, like,
I will explain.
There are still newspapers.
I will explain.
Yeah, but who runs them? So
You
the
can
question,
still get a paper subscription delivered to your house of The Onion.
Right, which is great. With The Onion is great, and that's a cool joke. It's like Mad Magazine on meth. But like we get the good news, good. It's like good news, and it's like a quarterly publication that is about the good news of the things that are actually making like a positive impact in our world right now. So like things
Tends
about
to fill a page or two, does it?
No, it's
I'm kidding.
really great. It's a really great publication about things that we can be hopeful about, right?
Let me defend old people here a little bit.
I mean, we're not that far apart, Joe.
We buy the Sun
I have gray hair.
because Rocky does.
You at least have hair.
Because surprisingly enough, Rocky does the puzzle stuff.
Okay.
And that's pretty much why.
Right.
Because I look at this and Drudge and all sorts of things to try and figure out what's going on, as well as just basically looking at things. And you're correct. The AI stuff is the thing that's most frightening.
Yeah, it's really rough.
Because you've got some of them are obvious. The one of the ones we see all the time is the Hitchens stuff.
But it's getting better and better. They're getting better and better.
But what I'm saying is, in his case,
worse.
it's AI because he's dead.
Right.
But like George Will is used on a lot of them, and then Rachel Maddow's used on a lot of them too. And obviously, there are things that they did not do, and it's hard enough when you're in a position where people have points of view, let alone when you can't determine what they're trying to do here too. Meaning, if I go to Fox and watch something, I know particularly what's going to be on there and what they're going to believe. If I go to MS Now, I know what I'm going to get there. But when you go get these other things, there's no anchor telling you, okay, this person has a perception about this. So it comes across almost as neutral in a lot of ways when it's really not.
It's not. And I will say that I think, from my perspective and what I know about this, is that a lot of information has to come from a source that you trust, that's based within your community, right? So like within the disability community or within the queer community, there are certain people who are trusted sources of information about certain topics, right? And they are doing their due diligence, and they are, fighting the fight for the rights of the people within that community, and you can find clear, pointed information from those people. And I think that as we move into this time period where more and more of our larger media sources are kind of purchased and then run from a perspective of their ownership, as opposed to a broader perspective, right? That it becomes more community based, and you kind of have to find who are the sources within your community who you trust to provide the information that you are looking to find.
See, it's interesting. Here, I'm going to go old guy again. When I was growing up in the 1930s, the TV
That was
news.
when you were born.
When Charlie
TV
Chaplin was coming by
I
and
wasn't born
talking
in
to
the
you.
30s.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, what are you talking about? When
What
were you born?
what I'm saying is a long time ago, before news was considered to be a profit generation.
Right, but now it is.
That was considered something you did. There were shows that the networks had to do as public service, meaning from a certain time of the day to a certain time of the day, they had to put things for like kids,
like public
and,
access too.
Right, and public access,
community
and stuff like
information. We still have like CAN TV here in Chicago. CAN TV is public access television.
And then, but the news itself, when I was growing up, initially in L.A., not in some burg out in the middle of nowhere, was 15 minutes of local news and 15 minutes of national news, and that was all. Because they considered that, at that time, to be a burden. It's not a profit center, it's something we have to do in the national interest.
We have to inform the community.
Because they're getting the airways for nothing, basically.
Sounds like communism to me.
Yeah. But then it changed, and you got a half hour of local news and a half an hour of national news, and people started figuring out more. Maybe we should make this into a profit center, and then CNN came in, and everybody found out, well, crud, we can do this 24 hours a day if we want. And what does that do? It creates a mess, because you've got a bunch of people that are trying to be first in the story rather than doing the due diligence that they should do. And number two, they're going after specific audiences, because the marketing department is giving them, okay,
this is your target audience.
Yeah, this is your target audience. This is what you need to say and do.
And then you realize that people who are enraged watch more, which gets you paid more than people who are informed.
So we have to also accept that is the current social contract. That the current
It's a
contract,
shitty contract. I think we need to renegotiate.
But that is what we are living under. So if we need to renegotiate, then we need to organize.
This union's fucked.
As people to get to that point. However, there are specific points of clarity of people who can be trusted within certain communities to provide certain information. Now that might mean that you have to go to multiple sources to find information if you're concerned about environmental concerns, or if you're concerned about, queer issues or trans rights, or, if you're concerned about kind of general voting rights or things like that. There might be multiple points that you have to check in with, but it's become more work in general, I think, for the public, right? And I also think that there is a resistance to doing that work. We have been fed a lot of convenience, going back to DoorDash and things like that. We have been fed a lot of convenience, and it's a lot of work, and it's hard to do a lot of work.
But there's something else going on here too. And that is that, again, in the 50s and 60s when I was growing up, the news that was projected created an equilibrium as far as an environment was concerned, because everybody got the same information and was in a position that you didn't have to go to secondary sources necessarily to get that sort of information, at least as far as a general person was concerned. So there was an acceptance of a baseline at that point, as far as I was concerned. If you go back to that period of time, there are not a lot of people outside of the South probably that were rebelling against Walter Cronkite.
But where did you get your information? You know what I mean, Joe?
Walter
Cronkite. There were like 5 channels.
Yeah.
There were like 5 television channels, and that's where you got your information. People left radio.
More people got their
and
news from the
newspapers.
radio and newspapers.
But so what I'm saying is you have to
Radio
look
was still
to
big.
look at the source as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was only a certain amount of radio. People moved away from radio to television.
And also,
there was a certain amount of television sources that you had. They were limited. Now we have kind of created this world where there's almost an unlimited amount.
But you have to find it.
You have to, and you have
Yeah.
to, and that is a lot of work for people, and people are not
I want
necessarily
to
inclined
throw
to do the work.
one little bit out just because I find myself falling into this trap. You may be idealizing your memory of
there is
the
no
earlier
doubt.
time.
There is no
I
doubt.
think there was still a lot of misinformation floating around. I still think you needed to go and verify some information when you
There is no
said,
doubt that
I don't
it's
know
true.
about that.
The other thing
Really,
that's
like you
true,
believe the
though,
moon landing wasn't true?
You believe the moon's real?
it'll go much further than that. What
Me
I
and
would
the moon
say,
were close. So yes,
what
do
I would
believe.
say, as far as the classical news people, I think that there was more fact checking rather than speed at
Well,
that
a lot of
time.
people
They
have said
were at least
journalism is dead.
trying
Yeah.
to adhere to be
Yeah.
neutral and just giving information,
And
not trying to
things,
steer.
and
the
things
conversation.
generally moved along to the point that
There
that
seemed to
they
be
worked
integrity.
out, that they worked out. As soon as old Walter started having questions about the Vietnam War, that changed everything.
Okay.
Okay, and that is not a small thing. And he had that effect because people trusted him. You know, he came on every night. If he had disseminated half the stuff he said was incorrect, was just bullshit, he wouldn't have developed that following at
Right.
that point. And to be sure that at that time too, there was a lot more print media than there is now. You had magazines, hundreds of newspapers, everything from newspapers that were created by unions to, in LA during our lifetime, they went from a huge number of newspapers, the Free Press, the Herald Examiner, the LA Times.
The
to
Workers'
point-
Vanguard.
To the point that there's only the Times now. They're all gone. And this consolidation is part of the issue too. And I'm not sure how, I understand your optimism with individuals. The problem is individuals don't have the resources to keep up on a lot of this stuff.
Well, it depends. I mean, I do think that some individuals do have press access to the spaces in which these discussions are happening or the questions are happening. There are some that do have access to those spaces, and you have to find those people. But I also think that there is like a I don't want to say laziness. The word that comes to mind first is like a laziness or like a disinterest in it's not convenient to have
Existential
to find
exhaustion.
them. Yeah, and
Well-
it's not necessarily convenient to have to find them and follow them, but there are people who are
Sure.
doing this work who are like
There are a lot
not
of
part
citizen
of the
journalists.
economy, who are not part of the economy that is the large machine, right? That is being controlled by the oligarchs who are now creating monopolies in the information cycle.
Well, I mean, you had people like I.F. Stone in the 60s and 70s too, who were
I was
doing this
not
sort of
alive,
work.
but I believe you.
And there
That's
were...
the reason I brought it up, because you can't confirm or deny until you want the
I cannot.
you want the
I
phone
don't
again.
know.
You want the phone again?
Yeah, let me phone a friend. Fold it.
Let's look up all of the 1920s and 30s newspaper magnates.
Yeah.
Exactly.
20s. You weren't alive in the 20s.
No.
None of us were alive in the 20s, but that's like when journalism was at its worst.
My wedding
Well-
ring was alive in the 20s.
Well, there's something.
Wait, your wedding ring is alive?
Yeah, totally.
That's scary. Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah.
the
I think it's really hard. I think it's hard, and I think a lot of people don't have the critical thinking skills. We're also not being taught critical thinking skills at the level that is necessary in
They're not
the
being-
public education system.
they're not
in
being
order
taught,
to
taught civics
right. I
anymore.
know,
What are you
and
talking about?
or ethics.
Well, you can't learn
civics or ethics
civics
or critical
or
think-
ethics
thinking
without
skills.
critical thinking.
Right,
So
and so that's being disencouraged. Right? What is the singular word that's disencouraged?
Well,
that's
Discouraged?
being discouraged, obliterated.
I mean,
you know.
disencouraged
the-
is a completely
Yeah.
separate thing
the,
than
the
discouraged.
problem is the vast majority of people are so busy with their own lives.
And
You know,
watching
I'm
YouTube
in a
videos
position, I've been
and
really
TikTok.
lucky. We decided when we were married that we weren't going to have kids. But if during the
Oopsie.
whoa,
Childless by
I
choice.
hope that
what's
was
up?
empty.
It was. Sorry,
Well,
everybody. Party foul.
I
It was
hope
only
the
the
tequila
water.
wasn't spilled.
No, it was empty.
Fantastic.
I'm a consummate.
You know what? You are the
drinker.
first spill that we've had on
Sorry.
camera.
that's true. Holy
No,
cow.
you're
It was
fine.
ice.
You're
No,
totally
there
fine.
is punishment involved here.
Okay, no, this is metaphorical. Down with ice. Okay.
Okay.
It's just the
Ice stays in the
It's
drinks,
the ice.
not
We're
in the streets.
Spilling the ice. There you go.
I believe in salting the streets.
It was this cord.
I guess.
In any
Which
case,
is
we were in the middle of
totally-
a very good
Yeah, what
discussion.
I was saying was that an average person,
know.
that's
Makes you
basically
crazy.
got a family that has kids is not going to spend a huge amount of time researching things. They're
Well,
too
they don't
busy.
have that time.
They're
Yeah.
too busy.
They don't have that time. That's a luxury that they
But
don't.
now they can have their AI assistant do it
So
for
if
them.
let's break this down. Between the ages of 5 and 18, you're going to go to school, and that's going to be about it when it comes down to it. So that tranche of society is basically not going to do anything. When you reach college is when a lot of people...
If you go to college.
If you go to college. When you get to college, and people allow you to start questioning things.
Depends on the college.
Depends on the college.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go to Oral Roberts or Liberty or Grand Valley, whatever the
What
hell
was the
it is.
one that we had to talk about with the
Yeah.
guy, Jordan Peterson or whatever?
Oh, that's the Peterson Academy. That's
Yeah.
another whole matter.
Not even really a college.
You don't know about the Peterson Academy. You are so far out of date.
Well, I mean, I would do
You
you by
pay-
Champagne
you-
Urbana, ILL,
You-
INI.
You beat. You don't. You're totally out of
Also,
phase
I
as
have
far
pneumonia.
as Jordan
Oh.
Peterson.
Like
He's-
right
he's
now?
Not
great.
contagious anymore. It's like in the third
But right
week.
now?
Yeah, it's in the third week.
Thanks for
Ignore it.
coming out. I'm so
It's in
sorry.
the third week.
Ugh.
It's endless.
She's going to work. She's going to be relatively
they're-
okay.
They are going to work.
So sorry. Sorry.
It
I
takes
know.
practice.
That might be challenging for your crowd in general.
It
but
is.
I am a they them, although you might recognize that I have some feminine characteristics because I was assigned female at birth, but I'm also perimenopausal. So what does it really matter at this point?
That's entirely too
None of
much
my fucking
information.
business.
Okay.
I've had more practice with this, so it's cool.
Anyway. And
That's
I
staying in, by the way.
apologize in that I've always been surprised at this because I generally don't use pronouns with anyone anyway.
Yeah.
I would use someone's name
Yeah,
rather
you just
than
see the like
pronoun.
long hair, or
Yeah.
is it the glasses? Is it the lip gloss? What is
It could be any of the above.
It's the boobs.
My lip
I
gloss
didn't
has
notice
never
you
like through.
Rocky.
I haven't noticed hers either. Now, come on.
Take the fifth.
Anyway, the question I have that we can sort of end this with, thankfully,
This is getting good. Come on.
I know, right?
is how can we escape this?
The media?
Yeah, how can we escape the situation we're getting in? Because my view is
electromagnetic pulse
we're
globally.
in a position now that billionaires buying this stuff and then incorporating them into their view of the world, especially with the fascistic view of most of Silicon Valley right now,
Okay.
that's going to become a real problem.
Well, what happened in general, I don't know. I mean, I took a class called Nazi Mind in high school, and it was really great. But what happened...
This explains a lot, by
In
the way.
high school?
Yeah, in high school.
Damn, you
I
must have
was-
gone to a progressive high school.
I did. I went to
Or a really not
great
progressive
high school. Because I'm privileged, and I acknowledge that. But
Or
I,
you went to, okay, never mind.
I question like what happened with all of the propaganda, because what happens is this all becomes propaganda, right? It becomes a specific agenda that is dispersed to the masses in order to get large-scale buy-in, right?
Compliance.
To a
Compliance.
compliance and buy-in to a agenda. And then what happens when that agenda falls? Like, do new publications pop up, or do people regain their autonomy over, journalistic integrity, or
I would say it depends on
what
how
happened?
it all falls apart.
What happened? But what happened in the history? So we've been here. Humans have been here
what
for
happened in
humans
World
have been
War
here
II,
for
what
thousands of
happened in,
years, and there's been multiple cultures that have gone through rises and falls.
But never with this level of record.
Well, we haven't had the internet and
Or
AI.
video.
Or atomic weapons.
well, I
We've
mean,
had
we
atomic
have had
weapons
atomic
for,
weapons for
like,
some time.
We just haven't
85
used them in
years.
a while.
That you're aware of.
Eh.
We've only had, unlimited video capacity handed out to half the
But so-
population 24/7 for the last 10 years.
That's been new, right? So we haven't been able to see, and it's not in our human understanding capabilities. We're not really designed to be able to take in the amount of information that the social media channels and kind of digital information highway is providing us. We're not our
Yeah.
brains and our systems
agree
are
with
not
that.
really meant to take this in, and we're not evolved to the point where we can accurately disseminate what is actually happening
we
to
have
us and what's happening to others.
we have a chip for you.
Oh, great. I can't wait. Is that
Yeah, the
included
Musk-
in my real ID?
Yeah, the Musk chip
No,
would
this
help you
one,
with that.
goes in the back of the neck.
Oh, back of the neck. Great. This is another conversation for another day, but it's how incredibly accurate sci-fi is, right? You watch some sci-fi movies from the 60s and you're like, oh yeah, we're totally doing that now. Pretty
Some-
soon we'll be at
Well,
Logan's Run and we'll
again-
be eating people. Soylent is human.
Well, okay, first of all, those are completely two different movies.
With different viewpoints too. So.
I'm pretty sure all of our little hand crystals would have already turned red and we'd be dead. But Soylent Green's a whole other thing, and actually I think we're already there, we just don't know it.
Well,
Wait, are
we're
you
working
eating
on it.
humans?
We're working on it.
I thought that's what pepperoni was.
You know what human beings among people that eat human beings are called? Cannibals called
What do
human
cannibals call their food?
beings long pig.
Oh, I mean, whatever.
Not
Because-
all cannibals, just one particular tribe in the Pacific.
Right.
Pacific.
I also really encourage people to get out of their.
They were an islander.
I also really encourage people to get out of their comfort zone of feeling like they have to do what everyone else is doing. And if you want to try eating crickets, and if you want to try wearing something that's out of the box, and if you want to, read a newspaper that's not a major newspaper, then you go ahead and do that. You get out of stop being so concerned about what other people think about what you're doing.
Well, I feel infinitely better now that you've given me permission.
I'm going to agree with that.
I permiss you. What is the word that I'm looking for? Is that permiss? Is permiss the word that I'm looking for? Ce n'est pas interdit. Oui? Ce n'est pas interdit.
Nicht der Spät.
Did you just do German?
I think so.
Did we do your whole agenda, Joe? It's getting louder and louder in here. I
It
feel
is,
like I
but
need
that
to get
happens.
closer and closer
That
to my
happens as
microphone.
it gets.
Well, you don't actually have to, but it definitely is helpful.
Okay.
And for the ASMR aspect, it definitely works.
What time are we at?
We're at 1:29 and 30 seconds.
In other words, we're done.
What do they have a certain length that they have
We
to be?
try and keep them around an
no, we
hour
just
and a
try to
half.
like not
I
go
will
off.
say
on
it is almost time for a restroom break.
Well,
Well, normally we do a little like break in between, but we just like ran right through it.
Because we've been having so much fun. We are a good team.
I would say I hope that you will come back and join us again.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that invitation.
anytime you want. No, I'm serious.
Thank you. I
Anytime
appreciate
you want.
that.
We
I
can
was,
talk.
I was actually
You
really
can-
concerned
I like
about
them,
being
Joe.
on this podcast
We
because
can-
I was like, I have nothing to say about any of
Oh
this.
yeah, you hardly had anything to say at all. So, but what I would suggest is let's think of in a few, like 2 or 3, we'll bring you back. But I want you to pick what we talk about.
Oh gosh.
I'm
Okay.
serious.
Okay.
I'm
We will be
I mean,
in contact.
You're gonna be in trouble. I
We
feel
will.
like.
I'm gonna be in trouble.
No,
Awesome.
let me focus this on something.
What?
Because this is a thing I'm concerned about. The fact that a lot of people in media, especially right now, in the social areas, on YouTube, things like that, are creating what amounts to war between men and women.
I mean, it's. I mean, I think, Joe, it's hard to measure the amount that misogyny and the patriarchy are affecting our general
Not misandry,
experience.
not misandry either.
Sure.
I'm just
No,
this is
I
my
mean, it's
point.
there,
Sure.
but it's
I mean,
a much
it's
smaller
just hard.
percentage.
It's hard. It's such like a quiet undercurrent, right? Like it's
But
like
it's
an
not.
acceptable undercurrent.
It's like the
It's
air.
not. The problem,
It's just there, and
how
you
people
live in it.
deal with one another. I don't know.
It's like smog
I
in
feel
LA in the
very
1980s.
lucky that I was able to find Rocky. We've had a great life together
Yeah.
and everything else. It would be very difficult, I think, for me to have found her in this environment.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
that's my perspective. And maybe think about it a little bit,
Yeah.
and we'll basically come back and talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're also lucky. You know, you're cis, you're white,
Now, wait a minute.
you're heterosexual.
Okay, now wait a minute. I never picked cis. Why do you get
No,
to
you
assign
didn't.
cis to me?
Well, you mean, are
you-
you
you-
bi?
CIS.
No, but-
cisgender, as in
Re-
you appear to be a man.
Normal? Not
You
normal.
appear to be
We
a man.
don't use that. We don't use that because normality is
But what
really
I'm
like
saying,
a social
what I'm
structure.
saying is,
that's-
Yes,
I have
normality
no
is a
trouble.
construct.
I have no trouble with you assigning what you want for your description of you.
No, but for
Why-
you.
Why do you get to assign cis to me?
Are you not cis?
Of course. But that's not the point. I didn't pick cis. I did not pick cis.
But
no, but
you
you
are.
are.
Just
But
like
someone
I am.
else
Well,
decided
what is
that.
your identity then?
What
do
I'm
you
saying
pick?
is
What do you
what I-
pick? No, tell me, Joe.
The label.
Oh, please, tell
The-
me, Joe. What do you pick?
The label is the problem. It is not what it is. It's the fact that gays,
Okay.
trans,
Okay.
all the people of alternate sort of sexuality.
Okay.
Picked what they-
Alternate. I might
Okay,
I might
okay.
hedge
So
the
why do we
alternate.
even have
Oh, here
a
we go,
separation
here we
between
go,
male and
here we
female
go.
in our records to begin with? What is the point?
I'm trying not to be offensive here, and you guys.
Oh,
are
but you're
playing
going
along.
right down the fucking middle of the road.
But what I'm saying is, I did not pick to call myself cis. It's something
you
that was
not
made
cis,
up.
though?
Would you let me finish with what I'm trying to say? Everyone else that I talked about picked those as descriptions of themselves.
Cis?
No.
I did not choose my gender.
gay,
I did not choose my
trans,
sexuality.
All those things
Right.
I did not
Cis is
choose
the
my
other one.
name.
were picked specifically by those groups. And I have no problem with that. I know of no one that is a man that picked cis. It was something that was assigned to us.
Okay. Well, what are you then if you're not cis? What do you pick? What do you pick?
I am just a guy. I don't need a
But you were
designation.
assigned male at birth and you feel your identity is male.
Yes.
That is cis.
But where does that come from? That is something that's been assigned to me.
Cisgender. It's your gender identity.
But it is a
You
term.
were assigned male at birth, and you agree you are male.
But it is something as a term that is assigned to me that I had no possibility of input on.
Okay, well then what do you want? What do you identify as?
I'm
Joe.
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 Do you
I'm
want to know?
Joe.
No, Joe.
I love that.
You wanna
I
know
love the
Joe.
idea. I love the idea that we can leave identity assigners aside.
Do you
want
want to? Do you want to know where cis comes from? Do you want to know what cis means and why it means what it means?
It's
Latin.
She just
They.
defined it.
It's Latin.
Oh, there I did again. Sorry. Okay.
So
It's the boobs.
you blame the Romans. Just blame the Romans because it's Latin.
Latin is a description of men.
No, Latin is the opposite of trans. Cis.
Okay. The comment still remains. I
No,
did
but
not
I think that's
select
interesting.
that.
Do you feel like you are
You didn't
a
select
male?
99% of the shit in your life,
Do
man.
you feel like you're male?
I don't. This is not something I go through my life saying I'm a male getting up this morning.
You didn't choose
No,
to
but
be born in America.
America.
You're American.
Don't use logic on me here.
Too late, man. Can I have another beer, sir?
But no, Joe, I'm curious about this.
It is the only.
No, I
have
get
no
what you're
problem-
saying.
I have no problem with anyone wishing.
What about you?
I'm absolutely cis in appearance.
Cis in appearance?
Yes, I'm nothing but a guy.
I'm nothing but a guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how I feel. I'm
Yeah.
just Joe.
You're
I
just
do not
Joe.
have the legs for a
That's
dress.
awesome. So then you're non-binary.
I'm not nothing.
Yeah, you're non-binary.
Well, I don't accept that either, because that's
Why?
a term someone else created for what I am.
So you're
Well, but a
unary.
binary is you're either masculine or you're feminine. You're either male or you're female. You're attending. You're assigning one of those spaces because that's basically the system that we work within.
Let
the
us
binary.
continue this during one of our other discussions.
Oh my
because-
gosh, that's a rough one. I don't know
No.
if I can do it.
Oh,
If I
that'll
have
be
to
a fun
remember
one, and
they,
we might have to
the
open it
least
up.
you can do is get involved.
I mean, no, really. That's not hard for you to remember.
I have a poly joke brewing in me, but I'm just not really sure where to go with it yet.
I mean, not all gay people are poly.
I wasn't talking about
Oh, okay.
sexuality. I was talking
I was
about
like, whoa.
like concepts and ideas and assignments and
Are we going to have another drink?
hence I am. I just got one. Can
Before
I get
we
you
leave?
one?
Are we done? Are we?
Well, we're gonna wrap this up
slate?
momentarily.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, we have never actually figured that out. It's pretty much just like, I think we're done. Fuck it.
that's basically what we're doing.
Peace out, people.
Anyway,
The problem is when we have a fun
we
guest, just
really
rolls along.
we really want you to come back. We might bring in some people to have a little more aggressive.
What we're actually going to
discussion
have is
than
like
what we
multiple
had
other people that you can talk to who are actually interesting, and we'll both just disappear
here. Exactly. That's
and
probably
become
the best
executive
thing.
producers.
No. I mean, I appreciate this is you guys' project. So it's you. I will say I was nervous about coming on because, like I said, I don't claim to. I don't really feel like I have the most informed opinion about a lot of necessarily things.
Well,
Fooled me.
That's
exist within
not-
my community.
That's not what this podcast about.
But
is
you
about
did
anyway.
change some of the agenda, Joe. Like
I
some
did.
of this agenda was not the original agenda.
I did.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't talk
He does
about
that.
submarines,
Well, it's for good reason.
We did.
ice cream machines,
There you go.
and threat,
we can-
and threat,
and we
the
can-
fact of being a
We
threat.
can talk to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we want you to come back and we will deal with some of these other issues because you're going to be able to set the agenda.
I will say, I will not.
I think you should.
I will not. And I don't think anyone should have to debate their humanity with anyone that disagrees with the fact that they have a right to be their most authentic self
That's
and
so,
live in this world
That's so
as
un-American.
they most feel
Okay.
themselves.
Can I debate that topic
That's
with you
so
next time,
un-American.
just as
I will
devil's
not
advocate
debate that
asshole?
with people. No, I'm not going to debate that
No,
with
no, I
people.
want to debate the topic with you, not
What topic?
about how people shouldn't have to debate that.
I don't understand.
Do we want another drink? This
All right,
You
let's
guys are
close this
drinking-
down.
You guys are drinking like light beers.
It's not a light beer. It's a regular
well,
beer.
I'm not judging you. I'm just saying we're in a different
I've
weight
also
class.
had 3 to your 2.
Two. Plus, I
So-
came from a different bar before this, bro.
oh, you did not say.
Oh, you
did.
pre-gamed?
I went to Larry's. We went to
Oh.
Larry's at the hotel.
I like this person.
Yeah.
I thought you were
They're
working.
cool.
I was taking my team
They
on
were
our
working.
holiday cocktail outing. It's our holiday cocktail outing that
In
I
February?
take my team on. We're a little late. I did have COVID and then got pneumonia.
Cove-monia?
So, anyway, we'll set up for you coming back.
All right.
Yeah, it's been fun.
All right.
It has. And you're.
Thanks for inviting
you're,
me, Joe.
You're a good person. I like you. Even though you're intelligent.
I know it's rough. I mean I have had a privileged life in which I have had access to high level education.
As have I. I've been
And I
very
don't
lucky.
use it as well as I should, I'm sure.
Most people don't.
We could.
But
It's interesting that.
I think you have to get closer to your mic at this point because it's getting a little rowdy.
Okay. Anyway, it's interesting that you say that because that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
Because I went at a different time too. None of us, when I was going to college, except for, can we get one of the? Oh, her too. Oh, okay.
sorry for the ice. All right.
That's my
Wrap
fault.
it
I'm
up,
sorry.
Joe. Let's go ahead and close this down.
And Slate, thank you. It's been an evening.
You want to finish your thought, or we? Yeah. Okay.
Do you want one or do you not
If you
want?
don't mind, but Joe, you've been buying me drinks all night.
Well, what can I say? Maybe I'm trying to get somewhere here.
Oh? Oh?
Trying to get to a point in the podcast.
Oh?
Do you want to say goodbye, Joe?
Oh, are you hitting on me, Joe?
We have to walk home with Rocky though.
I mean, Rocky's love.
I can walk Rocky home. It's fine.
I don't trust you with that though.
That's a
Oh, are
smart
you you're the
thing.
jealous type, aren't you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can tell. You can
So what's
tell.
okay for the goose is not okay for the gander.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I'm
Or the non-binary duck.
right.
I'm reverting back to my 1950s self.
How old were you then?
In the 50s?
Yeah.
11?
11. That is, you were a child.
Wait, you were 11 through the entire 1950s?
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
So in any case,
How does
it's
time
been
work?
fun. This is like 20 minutes of stuff you cut.
Probably, but we'll see.
No, please.
This might be the outtakes.
No. I think this is the preliminary to the next discussion.
Okay.
I'm not going to debate humanity. I'm not going to debate.
I'm not. I don't.
But I
wanna-
can debate with
rights.
you
Let me-
about debating.
No, I don't
with
want to
you.
debate that either. What I
About
want
people's
to
humanity.
debate is how we're going to recover as men and women and
No,
get
that's
back
not.
to the
That's
point.
not the least. The men and women is a binary. We need to escape the binary
Well,
and
okay,
realize
now
that
we-
we all exist upon a spectrum which is wider than a black or a white.
Let me say this
And that's not in
more
terms of-
accurately. I want to make sure that people can recover the fact that they can talk to one another without feeling like they have problems. And
Oh,
the,
but we all have
the circumstance we're in right now, you have an entire spectrum of people throwing bullshit out on the internet. Mostly trying to make money by talking about the friction between
Which only
specifically-
exists on the internet for the most part.
specifically
And a handful of assholes.
what I've got cis men. What would is cis woman is a cis woman
Yes.
phrase too?
Yeah,
Yes.
Gender just means this thing that you were
Okay.
assigned at birth is the thing that you identify as.
Oh,
like
good
you
God.
agree with what the
It's
doctor
the-
said, like, oh, yep, okay.
Hey, watch what you're pointing at there.
It's the nice way of saying normal without
No.
saying
There's no
normal.
normal.
I'm saying what he would,
There is
as
no normal.
a
But-
person in the 50s would be.
I
This is
don't.
normal.
I don't want to get into language as much as I do
Semantics is
Semantics.
all this is about.
Right?
because that's one of the problems I have with philosophy right now. It's more language oriented.
Because it's all semantics,
Yeah.
unless it's
Then-
not.
rather than trying to figure out things like why are we here? What is a good life? Those sorts of things we don't talk about. But I want to talk about how, as all of us can get back together with having relationships with one another without friction.
Without friction?
Without friction.
Well, I mean, I think there's always going to be friction. I think we have to work on what is the process in which we agree to work to resolve friction, or like we work to mitigate friction. There's always going to be friction. There's not going to be a time
Also,
when we're not going to have
friction's
conflict.
not necessarily a bad thing.
Right. There's not going to be a time in which we're not going to have conflict or misunderstanding or differences of opinion. That's always going to happen. But I think that we have to be able to find a way in which we agree to respect each other or allow each other to be our most brilliant, like, beautiful selves, and not have to enforce our ideas of what is right or what is wrong on other people, as long as they're not harming other people, right?
No.
If my opinion of myself is not harming you, why do you have to tell me that it's wrong?
I totally agree with you on that. My view of freedom is you can do what you want as long as you're not harming others.
Right. And so why do you have to enforce your opinion on...
I'm not
you personally. I know, Joe, you're not. It's John.
It's all me and my tyrannical viewpoints.
But what I'm saying is there are a lot of people that would like to limit other people's freedoms of expression or freedoms of being, or discredit their humanity because it's what they believe is not right. And instead, the world is like a beautiful spectrum of difference. And we need to be able to be ourselves in order to bring our best to this world and not be controlled by a group that tells us what we can or cannot be.
That's a good lead in to our next discussion.
Okay. So once again, this has been the Old School Drinking Podcast. I'm John. Joe's over there.
I'm Zhen.
Zhen. Sorry. Zhen has been our...
That's all right. Quand tu parles français, tu prononces mon nom beaucoup. Oui, mais je parle comme un 6-year-old, so.
Ich nicht wir
Personne à 6 ans.
Français.
Oui.
Whatever.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll be back again.
We will. Because I'm interested in continuing this discussion.